Hello everyone, a very good morning to all of you. So you can see on the screen the name of the story is Rattrap, and I have already taken 2 live classes with all of you, right, last week. So I thought to conduct again through YouTube because I have given the concepts and also the thought of this particular prose. So those who are absent, for them I am saying that this is a story which is talking about a rat trap. Symbolically, it is connected with every human being, that the entire world is a kind of rat trap, and out of greed we are all in the trap and we are running like rats. Okay, we are all in the rat race. So there will be a kind of transformation in the protagonist that we will see in the story, and how the story is philosophically and very much entertaining, that we will see into the text. Okay. So there are actually 4 characters. I have already given you the explanation regarding the characters. Then also I am saying one is the peddler, the main protagonist, the stranger who is very poor, who is a thief as well as a beggar, and he is doing all these things in order to survive, because he is not having the proper money to have his food every day. Okay. And then suddenly one day in the second paragraph, he is having a kind of philosophical ideas that the entire world is a kind of trap. I am reading a line from this particular first para, you can see on the screen, that it offered riches and joys, shelter and food, heat and clothing, exactly as the rat trap offered cheese and pork, and as soon as anyone let himself be tempted to touch the bait, it closed in on him, and then everything came to an end. So it's like a rat trap. The entire world is a kind of rat trap according to him, that out of this greed we are all tempted and we are all into that trap, right. Then he is meeting one old man, and that old man is helping him. How? This old man is giving him the food, shelter and everything. They were playing muleys, the card game, as I said. And then this old man is also showing to him the 30 kronor. Kronor, I said that it is a Sweden currency, and that money he ultimately got by selling the milk of his cow, right. And this man trusted the stranger very much and showed him this 30 kronor and where he is keeping the money and everything. The next day when they both got up, you can see the next day both men got up in good season. So next day they got up and they were separating because of their daily work, and then suddenly this stranger, the main protagonist, the peddler, ultimately came back and stole the money. Okay. And see the last paragraph, as he walked along with the money in his pocket, he felt quite pleased with his smartness. He realized, of course, that at first he dared not continue on the public highway and must turn off the road into the woods. So he is taking the forest way. Okay. And at last, when he was in the middle of the forest, see the last 2-3 lines I am reading, the whole forest with its trunks and branches, its thickets and fallen logs closed in upon him like an impenetrable prison from which he could never escape. So the entire atmosphere is like a jail for him, it is like a trap. So what he thought at the beginning of the story, that the entire world is a rat trap, and he is now realizing it, because he ultimately fallen into the trap. And I said also that this is the month of December. It was late in December, darkness was already descending over the forest, and he was about to die. Okay. And suddenly he got, see the quotes, those are the hammer strokes from an iron mill. So he is getting some sounds, and he is gathering his strength to go to that particular direction of the sound, and he is ultimately going, and where he is in the location of the Ramsey Iron Works, and there we are getting all the details, that how the factory is, who are working over there, what kind of works are going on. Very important for short questions, that I have gone in details. So please read these 2-3 paragraphs. Okay. And then he thought that this factory will be good enough in order to save himself from this cold atmosphere in the month of December. So he ultimately entered, right. And when he entered, see he asked permission to stay, and the master blacksmith nodded a hearty consent without honoring him with a single word. The tramp did not say anything either. He had not come there to talk but only to warm himself and sleep. So he was just asking for the permission. In those days, the Ramsau iron mill was owned by a very prominent iron master, whose greatest ambition was to ship out good iron to the market. He watched both night and day to see that the work was done as well as possible. So this iron master means the owner of this particular factory, this particular mill. He is coming and he is observing that whether every worker is properly working or not. A kind of inspection is going on. So that day he was present, the owner, right. Naturally, the first thing he saw was the tall ragamuffin. Ragamuffin means dirty person, okay, and who had eased his way so close to the furnace that steam rose from his wet rags. And the iron master did not follow the example of the blacksmiths, who had hardly deigned to look at the stranger. He walked close up to him, looked him over very carefully, then tore off his slouch hat to get a better view of his face. And this owner is observing the person, means observing the peddler, that who is actually is. And suddenly this master identified him as someone else. See, but of course it is you, Nils Olof, he said. How you do look. And then the iron master is saying that it's Nils Olof. Now who is this Nils Olof? The man with the Rattrap had never before seen the iron master at Ramsau and didn't even know what his name was. But it occurred to him that if the fine gentleman thought he was an old acquaintance, he might perhaps throw him a couple of kroner. Therefore, he didn't want to undeceive him all at once. And this person, the peddler, ultimately understood that this iron master is thinking him as his old friend, right. So the iron master means the owner is identifying this peddler as Nils Olof, as his old friend, old acquaintance. But actually this man is not Nils Olof. So here also he is thinking that I will not, declare the truth, that no, I am not that person that you are thinking, I am not your old friend. But here he thought that it's good that if he is thinking that I am his old friend, so probably I will get some help in order to save myself in this month of December, in this cold weather. Yes, God knows things have gone downhill with me, he said, and he is just making a kind of story to the person, to the owner, that yes, you are very right, you are absolutely right, that everything has gone, downhill with me. I am completely destroyed. Iron master. You should not have resigned from the regiment, said the iron master. That was the mistake. If only I had still been in the service at the time, it never would have happened. Well, now of course you will come with me. And suddenly the iron master is saying that you should not resign from the regiment. So it's like, law and army and police, this sector. So here also this person who ultimately spoke the lie in front of the iron master, that yes, I am your old friend, he is in trap now, because he is a thief, and he had given his introduction as that I am your old friend, and where these old friends are, they are from the regiments. See, to go along up to the manor house, manor means to the owner's house, and be received by the owner like an old regimental comrade, that however didn't please the tramp. And the tramp means the stranger is not at all happy with his plan. He thought that he will get the help, but he is in the trap now. And if his crime that is that 30 kroner that he stole, if it comes into the light, then he is gonna jail. He is going to the jail, very sure. No, I couldn't think of it, he said, looking quite alarmed. He thought of the 30 kroner. To go up to the manor house would be like throwing himself voluntarily into the lion's den, as I said. So now here there is a kind of conflict in his mind, that should I go or not. If I am going, probably I will get the help, but if suddenly the identity is revealed that no, I am not his old friend, then I am in the trap again. And then the iron master, who is very genuine, and he is trying to help his old friend, he said that please don't think that I have such a fine home that you cannot show yourself there. He said Elizabeth is dead, as you may already have heard. my boys are abroad and there is no one at home except my oldest daughter and myself. We were just saying that it was too bad we didn't have any company or for Christmas. Now come along with me and help us make the Christmas food disappear a little faster. So he is just inviting the old friend, means the tramp, that come to our house and celebrate the Christmas with us. But the stranger said no and no and again no, and the ironmaster saw that he must give in. So ultimately the ironmaster is saying that okay, as you think that you will stay over here, so you can stay. Later on, as the story is progressing, page 37, the oldest daughter, right, the oldest daughter, she is coming in order to receive the guest, because she also thought that probably it is my father's old friend. She entered followed by a valet. Okay, valet means personal assistant, carrying on his arm a big fur coat. She was not at all pretty, but seemed modest and quite shy. In the forge everything was just as it had been earlier in the evening. The master blacksmith and his apprentice still sat on their bench, and the iron and charcoal still glowed in the furnace. The stranger had stretched himself out on the floor and lay with a piece of pig iron under his head and his hat pulled down over his eyes. As soon as the young girl caught sight of him, she went up and lifted his hat. The man was evidently used to sleeping with one eye open. He jumped up abruptly and seemed to be quite frightened, and suddenly he saw the girl is sitting over there, and there is a kind of conversation. So he was very shocked, because actually he is a thief. So there is a kind of fear always going on in his mind. My name is Edla Wilmanson, said the young girl. My father came home and said that you wanted to sleep here in the forge tonight, and then I asked permission to come and bring you home to us. I am so sorry, Captain, that you are having such a hard time. And this lady, this daughter Edla, very important character for the transformation of this thief, right? And this Edla is saying that I am very sorry, please come with me. She looked at him compassionately and with her heavy eyes, and then she noticed that the man was afraid. Either he has stolen something or else he has escaped from it. And Edla is a kind of lady who is observing the man, and she thought also that probably this man has committed some crime, that is why he is in such kind of fear, he is having such a kind of fear. So then also she is requesting that only please stay with us over this Christmas Eve. So please come to our house and celebrate this Christmas with us. She said this in such a friendly manner that the Rattrap peddler must have felt confidence in her. It would never have occurred to me that you would bother with me yourself, miss. So now this man is almost prepared, and he accepted the fur coat and he is going. But when he is going, see these lines, but while he was riding up to the manor house, he had evil forebodings. Evil foreboding means a kind of dangerous signs. He is thinking that I am going into the lion's den if my identity is gonna reveal. So let's see in the next video that what happened with this man. So now, as we all know, the story is moving towards the manor's house. So the man who is going to the house, what kind of story we will see, what kind of story is there in the upcoming lines, that we will see in our next video, right? Thank you.